All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Larry Kudlow. We're here at the Reagan Library. Actually, it's the Reagan Air Force Room. Now, take a listen to this. Margaret Thatcher on the dangers of socialism way back in 1977. Here it is.
We are more and more concentrating on redistributing the wealth we've got rather than creating any more. To create more, you need a slightly freer society and you need an incentive society. Naturally, when I see that happening, I look with very great alarm to societies which have gone even further left. That is, they've tried to redistribute even more and haven't had the incentives for people working hard on their own account, doing well for their families, and often then being able to create jobs for others. They've produced a much more prosperous society than we have.
Well, there too. Couldn't have said it better myself. Terrific stuff. I also want to remind another great quote of Margaret Thatcher's about socialism. The trouble with socialists is eventually they run out of other people's money. All right? And this stuff, that was back in 1977. This stuff holds today spot on. Joining me now, Steve Hilton. He's the host of The Next Revolution with Steve Hilton. That's on Fox News. And Katie Pavlich, townhall.com editor and Fox News contributor. Welcome to you both. Thanks for doing this. All right, Steve Hilton.
Yeah.
Britain, Margaret Thatcher, and also Margaret Thatcher's lineage, Liz Truss.
Exactly.
Right, so we're fighting socialism. That's what I'm going to say tonight. We're fighting socialism, and we're listening to what some of these elder conservative statesmen and women are saying.
Exactly. I mean, look, that takes me back to where I grew up, of course, in the UK. I was just coming of age politically when she came to power. I remember those battles, and she won those battles and turned Britain into a free enterprise economy and society, and you got the growth and prosperity that followed. But now here I am in America. I'm an American now, proud American as of last year. I live here in California, and the terrifying thing is that now, here in California, not literally where we are, of course, in the Reagan Library, but in California, it's now the epicenter of this new socialism. I'll just give you one example, Larry. I know you like numbers, right? This week, in front of Governor Gavin Newsom, how many bills were there for him to sign just this week? 550. No. And he's been signing them all year. Can you imagine the degree of micromanagement of the private economy from that kind of thing? What are they doing? Just yesterday, a bill to expand unionization into the agriculture industry. Last week, a bill that effectively takes over the fast food industry with a council run by the state of California to manage the private sector. It is straight back to what Margaret Thatcher was fighting in the 1970s.
You know, my biggest concern, I mean, I love being out here, and I love doing the show out here in front of Air Force One and so forth. My biggest concern is that the electricity would go down.
Exactly.
Right. Show, right? Because they've cut off all fossil fuels.
Yep.
Katie Pavlich, welcome again. But her message on redistribution, I think, was fascinating.
Well, the most important part of what she's saying is that you can't have a flourishing economy unless you have growth. And the problem with socialist policies is they completely take away the incentive for growth with businesses, and it's a system that takes from the producers and gives to systems that don't produce anything. Those government systems that simply overregulate, with hundreds of bills going to the governor's desk that don't promote growth in the economy. It restricts growth in the economy, and that's why you've seen all these businesses leave California. You know, socialism is something that people tend not to learn from. It's like they forget how horrible it was when it was in place, and they get out of it and things flourish and they go right back into it. But California is a perfect example of that, and how it doesn't, because the argument for socialism is that it makes everyone's life better, right? If you redistribute wealth, people will be better off. Well, California has instituted pretty much every policy you can imagine. Free healthcare, overregulation of businesses, and yet there's the largest discrepancy in the state, in the country, between the rich and the poor. So really, they just want to take from the producers and eliminate the middle class so that the bureaucrats then have more control over the majority of people's lives as they cannot reach the upper
I really
class.
like that idea of basically taking from the producers. You know, this is supposed to be the progressive workers' paradise out here, okay? But you can't own a car. If you have an electric vehicle, you're not allowed to recharge the battery. You can't have any, gas furnaces anymore. The electricity is going down. I mean, I think they have strong generators here in case Gavin Newsom kicks in, but I'm not sure. Steve, Liz Truss, I've got to go there. Again, as a former Brit, we welcome you to America. Although we should probably all be in Florida or Texas or something. But in all seriousness, Liz Truss is a kind of Thatcher figure, and
Yes.
she's given it everything she's got. And as I was saying to Kevin Hassett, everybody, the whole establishment world, from the fanciest schools to the IMF, even the Federal Reserve Board, is attacking her tax cuts. Reagan just said, it was the first clip we had, how successful they were. Why are they doing this? Because she's going to try to stop the drift to socialism in Britain.
Exactly. Look, I know her a little bit. Just when I was working in 10 Downing Street, she was a newly elected member of Parliament. I remember it very clearly. She would come and see me regularly with policy ideas. She was a real hustler. She believed in ideas, and it was very interesting. They were all very coherent intellectually, all with this free market philosophy. She has convictions, just like you saw from Margaret Thatcher. We haven't really seen that from the British Conservatives for a long time. And so the establishment, both within the Conservative Party, frankly, certainly including the Labour Party, a lot of the media in the UK, the Bank of England, the Treasury, the bureaucracy, all against her. And that's what she's up against, the establishment really fighting back. So we've got to wish her well, but it's going to be tough for her.
Can she make a turnaround? I mean, I'm not an expert on Britain. I don't think you are either, but he may be because he was in 10 Downing Street. But I mean, she is attempting this major turnaround.
Yeah.
And to some extent, Katie, I was thinking maybe she's the leading indicator of what we're going to try to do here with the cavalry coming and a conservative turnaround. What do you think?
She's doing this because she's a conservative and she has principles and understands how limited government actually allows societies to thrive. But she's also doing it because the people in Britain have given her a mandate to do so. I mean, we're on the heels of Brexit. They decided to leave the European Union. They wanted to be autonomous. They wanted to be able to make their own decisions. And so, you know, that you're seeing in a number of places. You're seeing that with the new election of the Italian prime minister.
Yep.
You're seeing that with the Republican wave coming in November.
Yep.
And the reason why these globalist entities like the IMF are pushing back so hard is because when nation states defend their sovereignty through tax cuts at home by saying we're going to do what's best for our people rather than what the IMF thinks or what maybe the people in Brussels think, that is a threat to what they want to do in terms of controlling the global economy.
This would overturn their status hegemony.
Right. So you're just handing over your own sovereignty on every single level to these global entities because they think they should control all of the power and how nation states operate. But when you take that back and operate on a local level as a country, you have more ability to be free and to make your own decisions and to prosper regardless of the decisions of other countries or these big entities.
No, I think you're 100% right. Steve, we're out of time, but I just want to say this. I don't know what we know about Giorgia Meloni, but I know this. She goes to church on Sunday, every Sunday.
Well, they hate you can't have that.
And she wants to cut taxes.
Exactly.
That's all right. Church on Sunday and cutting taxes
seems good to
is
me.
my kind of gal.
Yes, indeed. I like it.
Is there hope for America, you new country? Got to get out 10 seconds. Hope for America. Cavalry's coming.
Because you
overturn
can't
all
keep
this
America
socialism.
down. Americans won't allow it.
That's it. That's the key point. I love that point. Absolutely. All right. Terrific stuff. Steve Hilton, Katie Pavlich, terrific.